The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
Tonopah Nation, it's Charlie. I'm going to be your host for today. Today we're taking a look at two different miners in Nevada. Can you blame me? Of course we're going to look at Nevada. And then we're also going to take a look at some charts, the overall SPY, and some other stuff that's related, just some industry news going on. Did y'all have a good day today, or were you bleeding down? What happened? Did you cut it off? Did you sell? Did you have your stop losses in, or did you just let it ride and you're going to hold? Or did you just keep buying all the way down? What'd you do? Let me know down in the comments. First one we're going to take a look at today is Eclipse Gold Mining. These guys are in Nevada. TSXV ticker is EGLD. OTC, which is where I'd be, is the EGLPF ticker. These guys are in the basically like the exploration stage. They're still drilling. They're not pulling rock yet. You know, they're not taking a bunch of rock and getting it processes for the gold and silver yet. They're just still testing and seeing what they got. But when you get in early to these, that's where you can multiply a lot easier than the ones that are already way established. They got everything done and they're already trading at, $10 billion market cap. Getting low, then you can multiply. Let's dive in. It's all in the name, Eclipse. Like the bodies of an eclipse, our key assets align. Very scripting. A proven team, repeated success, funding strength in all markets. Nevada, a premium jurisdiction. I agree. One of their places is called Hercules. I like that. They named one of their places they're drilling Hercules, an exceptional project. Executing a bold strategy. They're thinking big. These guys are fast. They're pretty aggressive. I like both of those. Fortune favors the bold. In 2017, as the management team of Northern Empire, we acquired the Sterling mine in Nevada for $10 million. A year later, we sold it for $90 million. Wouldn't you love to be a part of that deal? We believe Eclipse Gold, focused on the Hercules project in Nevada, could be our biggest success. Management team, absolutely rock solid. They all have like 20-ish years in the business. They work for Equinox, Peru Copper, West Kirkland Lake, Asanko Gold, Newmont Gold. Just keeps going and going and going. So, banging team. This isn't their first rodeo thinking, we're going to try it for our first time. Nope. These guys are rocking. They're on it. The advisors, Sage Counsel and Industry Wisdom. So, again, they've even got the advisors are the best you're going to get. The best. Management board success. Other skill sets include capital markets, exploration, geology, accounting, security, law. That's big. They need to know that, right, Highcroft? Mining, engineering, and M&A. Funding strength throughout the market. So the recent success. So they're led by Mike Allen. He's the Northern Empire that raised $35 million in Canadian in 2 accredited financings with no warrants in 2017 and 2018, which was a weak to flat gold market. So what is it saying? That's saying that he was able to acquire something for nothing. He got something cheap, and he did it without diluting the shares too. Another reason I really like this one. Look at this. Our fully diluted float on our shares is only 62,455,578. 62 million, that is nothing for a gold and silver miner. Usually they just dilute it before they're even drilling. They're already at like 400 million shares or something before they're even pulling rock to make it. I like this. Eclipse is structured to maximize the time window for success. We focus on the cost of capital and trading liquidity for our shareholders. We have skin in the game. No ego, just math. Do the deal that can be done. I like these guys, right? I like it. Nevada, where the world goes to. You already know that. You've seen my videos. You understand. All the cool kids pull gold and silver from Nevada. It's one of the best places to be. They don't even have a winner. At least most of Nevada. The Hercules exceptional project. So they've got a ton of gold and some silver system at the surface in the north system, which appears to be strengthening to the south. So they find a vein where 2 rocks meet kind of in the middle here, and they'll start drilling back like that, and they'll start taking samples, and they keep them all so they know where to start, where the silver's at, what the grades are. They're pulling a lot. This isn't the highest grade in the world, but it is high. Like they're pulling up to 6 grams per ton. I'm sorry, that is silver. Gold, the highest I see here is going to be 0.4 grams per ton. But they're still pulling silver at the same time. So I like this because you get the gold and the silver with it. a lot of the stuff going on in Nevada, you don't get the highest, let's call it grade of gold and silver, because a lot of it's like the open leach stuff that you can just get on the surface. It's easier to extract though. So you're not going to pull big old boulders of gold out of the sand basically, but at least you can mine it a lot easier than going like some of the places in Peru or whatever, where you're like hundreds of feet underground, digging through rock and then pulling chunks. But that's just kind of how it is in Nevada. But basically they're just going down this line here and pulling a lot. So they got 8 target areas currently identified, 5 drilled to date by the company, district scale land package, 85 kilometers squared, with room to make new discoveries and develop an operating mine within an hour's drive from Reno. So maybe they do get some snow there. I don't know. I don't even know. It's by Dayton. Does anyone know where Dayton is? This kind of looks like it's headed towards Tahoe. They probably do get some snow. It looks like a white cap up there. So I don't know. I'm still sure they're fine though in the winter. It's not going to be like the Canadian winters where you get like negative 50. Like in Banff, y'all ever been out there? 251 historic drill holes, 12 new drill holes drilled, over 3,217 meters drilled. So that is a lot. 2020 highlight hole. The highlight hole they got 89.92 meters of 0.65 gram per ton gold and 12.51 grams per ton silver, including 30.48 meters of 1.1 gram per ton gold and 27.37 gram per ton silver. So that just means for a long time that they're drilling down, the meters down, they're still pulling plenty of the gold and silver out. I like it. You can go in. I'm gonna, always leave this down in the description. You can go to the website and you can click through and read more of this if you want. We got a lot to cover, so I'm gonna try to jam through this. You can kind of see what the topography looks like. They've got great zones. They've got everything mapped. Everything is right there. It's showing here that you've got other mining places going on right here, right? Like, and they own this and they can keep going with this too. That's what I like about this. When you get these bigger land packages, they could be only focusing on 10% of what they got. They still got another 80% they can keep going on, So like right here, they got a plan of operations permit. The plan of operations permit allows for disturbance of up to another 640 acres, including roads, sumps, and drill pads. A plan of operations permit to take 15 to 24 months to secure that, but they're going for that too. That's a lot. How many football fields is that? I'm gonna guesstimate and say about 570 football fields. 560 football fields. That's a lot of football fields worth of gold and silver to be mining at. So they're showing they've got a gold recovery of 82%, silver recovery of 60 on one of theirs. Bottle rolls where they basically get some stuff, they put it in a bottle and they put like cyanide in it, and it just kind of helps leach everything off it, and then you get your stuff floating around a little bit better. Gold recovery range from 66% to 96% with an average of 88%. If you don't know, that is high. That is great. Additional bottle rolls of oxide gold recovery 78%. So high, everything looks good. So they've got the property, right? They've got the property, they've got the management. They are not far along, but that's why the price is still low. These guys have also done a lot in the year that they've been going. A lot. They've been accomplishing a lot. So what's going on? Geophysics results and the start of phase 2 drilling, expanded permit for more drilling, continued phase 2 drilling, next round of drilling for early fall. And these are the guys down there. So where are we at for the chart? Good thing is the chart looks boring right now, which is good because that means it hasn't already gone very exciting, right? So it's a good time to get in before it does that. It is sitting at right around 60 cents. Yeah, right at like 60 cents. So we're kind of sitting at the, let's say 40% up from the completed channel here. If we were to wrap this in a burrito, do you guys see where it'd be? If we could just stack boards on top, or a tortilla on top and a tortilla on the bottom, you see the channel we're in? So we're kind of in the lower middle range of that. So I think this is probably a good time to buy. I started making this video, of course, about 2 days ago, but I've been flooded with last minute stuff to come out. I haven't had time to get it out. This has run up a tiny bit, maybe like 6% since then, but we still basically have about a 20% run at least, which would get us to proven highs, recent highs also. Just a couple weeks ago, it was up to 71.29 cents. But if you might know, gold and silver started tanking, just like all of a sudden, just waterfall down. It's been hit pretty hard. So what happens? The gold and silver miners go down with it, which creates buying opportunities, right? So I think that this is not one I would ever back out the whole truck on for sure. But this is kind of one of those scratcher lottery tickets that, pair of Jordans or a pair of Skechers or a pair of Danner boots. Does anyone know what Danner boots are? Have a pair? Let me know what you think of it. News. These guys hit the news too. So September 21st, Eclipse Gold Mining accelerating phase 2 drilling with the second drill rig at Hercules Gold Project. September 1st, phase 2 drilling begins at the Eclipse Mining Hercules. August 18th, Eclipse. So about every 2 weeks they're hitting, 2 to 3 weeks they're hitting the press releases. So these guys are trying. Their website's good. They're on their game. I like this one. It's early stage. It is risky, but definitely not as risky as a lot of early stage miners because they're in Nevada. And they've already got a lot of permits, not all the permits, but enough to where they've already got some good drill results too. They're proving it profitable. I think this is a good one to get in. This next one here, I wanted to talk about many times, but the price has been too high, so I haven't talked about it because it already did its big run. And I'm trying to always get these at the right time for y'all to possibly get in. Unfortunately, 2 days ago, this one was about 15% less. And in those 2 days, it has run up. So unfortunately, I was able to get out, like I was saying. But we still have a lot of room to run. Name of this company is none other than Ely Gold Inc. This is a royalty play. What does that mean? They can swing it so many different ways. They can buy property and basically lease it out to a mining company to come in and mine it. So that those people have all the risk. They just own the property and they say, okay, whatever silver or gold you pull out of there, give us 6 to 9% or 2% or 3% or whatever it is, whatever they work out. Or they can have like little sections of a big mine just to help with financing for people, and they'll say, okay, but we want a percent of even more. So they can own a little bit, or they can just buy little rights of it. So they could not even own the land, and they can just say, hey, you need $10 million? Okay, we'll give you 10 million, but we want 2% everything you pull out. They can do any way they want. The rad thing about these royalty plays is they're way safer than going to single mine operations. Because if something crazy happens with one of the mines, it's really not going to affect them. It will a little bit, but nothing catastrophic, Whatever happens, there's an outbreak or something at one of the mines, they've got 64 more, so it's not too big of a deal. These guys, they're smart. They've been in it for a long time. They're mainly focused in Nevada, which is fantastic. So these guys own tons of mining acres and all over Nevada, all over. They also have some random ones. They've got about 3 that are looking to be tier 1 mines. Tier 1 means bringing in millions and millions of dollars a year, multi-million ounce developments, like over 2 million ounces to 5 million ounces, maybe pulling 250 to 500,000 ounces a year out of the ground. Those are like tier 1 mines. One of the ones they got in Canada is massive that people are jumping on. I like this play a lot, and I'll show you the chart real quick. This one is 157 million shares currently. This had a big spike. It went from, after March, of course, everything was running up, but it went from basically like 77 cents. I had bought it before, and it zipped all the way up to about $1.50, and it came back down, and it kind of rode that channel. But then we've kind of had the sell-off of silver and gold. It's just been getting boring, and then we just had this other big sell-off of silver, and then this thing went all the way back down to 77 cents. Where I had a line, of course. We already had the line. We already knew it was going to stop there. You can see this green little tail above this yellow. This is where it's ran since then, since like 2 days ago when I was going to put this out. But it's still only sitting at like, let's call it 97 cents, I think, or 94 cents at the end of the day. So it actually went up to almost $1 today, and it came down a little bit to end at 94 cents. I still think this is a good entry point. There's nothing holding us back chart-wise until we get to just at $1 probably right here. Maybe, because that's only been tagged like once. And even in here, I just don't really see much. Because even if we drew a line here, there's only one or two connecting, maybe like $1.09 or something like that. But regardless, this is one of those ones that if and when the next bull and silver bull run goes, this is one that will definitely carry with it. There are some major gold and silver heads in LA. They love it. It's protected. A lot of the shares are with institutional people, so it's never going to like go to zero. It could go to zero. Chances are it's not. It takes a lot to move this thing because of the people that are really long in it, even though we've seen this slight downward thing. And again, if you're in a lot of the plays that we talk about a lot, and your only thing holding you back is the volatility of how fast they spike, they can go 2x in an hour and then 1x down. Gold and silver minor plays might be good for you because if you can ball a little bit in some SPACs and some of the weird penny stuff we get into, you can ball all day long with the miners. Because I've talked about this before, how there can be a press release come out and be like, we just purchased this land, it was a great deal, and then we also got these new drill results which are totally banging too. It could take like 6 days before the stock finally jumps. So you just go get some coffee, go eat some lunch, and then come back and buy the stock. Unless Eric Sprott talks about it on his podcast, right? Because we talked about that on Friday for the Eric Sprott podcast with the TM guy. He's awesome. If he mentions something on there, it goes up. So you can still always listen to that podcast. I've talked about it a bunch of times. Look up Eric Sprott Friday Sprott podcast if you want to look that up. Let's take a look at this. So why invest in Ellie Gold royalties? Nevada, we already talked about it. They are super gold focused. Realize that too. Gold is still sitting pretty much darn close to all-time highs. Silver has still got a lot of room to run. I wish they actually had more silver in their portfolio. They have trickles of it, but not a lot. They're mainly gold focused. They're not a heavy battery type of play. They're not heavy on lithium or any other stuff you can pull out of the ground. Mainly gold, which is fine. They've outperformed all royalty companies. They're still way undervalued to peers, especially where they're at right now. They're a junior royalty company equals highest early years growth. So again, this is like let's say this is a low to medium sized royalty company. Well, the moral of that is basically they haven't run up like the big huge ones like the Barrick or any other massive royalty companies out there. Premier counterparties, so they've got tons of good rock. Large Nevada property portfolio. The next Franco Nevada Royal Gold is what they're saying. So Franco Nevada is massive. They started in Nevada, Franco Nevada, and then Royal Gold, they are massive and they started in Nevada too. So that's what their goal is. Here's a look at what has happened between them and the rest of the peers out there. They're talking about Royal Gold, Franco Nevada, Maverick Metals, RPT Wheaton, Precious Metals, Sandstorm. See this red line? This is LA, how they've done in the past year versus all the other royalty companies. So see, all these other royalty companies, they're already too big for me to invest in because I'm not going to park all my soldiers out somewhere so I can get a 10% raise over 1 year. No, dude. We're here to multiply, right? These guys have already multiplied. They've 5.5x'd over the past year, but they still have a lot of room to go to get to any of these guys too. Easy. So the Ellie Gold royalties, the peer comparison, they're just showing some more numbers here. I'm not going to go through all that for you. Again, just showing the graphs of what they can do in the potential, right? That these guys can just go absolutely parabolic bonkers, which is fantastic. So they've got a powerful growth model. They've got over 100 royalty and property interest. So they have 100 properties. So they're buying third-party properties. They're financing royalties, selling properties and generating royalties. So they'll even do that. They'll buy a blank piece of land, sell it to someone, and then still get a cut and say, okay, we'll sell it to this for this, and you still owe us 2%, and then staking and acquiring more properties. They just keep going with this. Every deal is different with them, and it's cool. Look at this awesome spread. Eric Sprott, he owns 26% of this company. Long-term shareholders 18%, institutions 15%, retail 33%, insiders management own 8%, which is super high too. Fantastic, and we got a stock price of $1.37. This has definitely got a lot higher share count than the last one we're talking about, but for a miner and for a royalty company, this is still very low at $200 million. Total debt, they've got $422,000, which is nothing. Unrestricted cash, though, they've got $11,550,000. So they got money to mess with if they want to go buy some more stuff. So they're showing here that they're in the junior royalty section here. They're still not even to the mid-tier or the major. They're still in between the 100 to 500 million market cap. And they want to get more and more and more. Share price re-ratings with scale, price appreciation, and accretive acquisitions. It just keeps mashing out. So they're showing here that they're now trading around 1 million shares a day. So that's good. So the liquidity is good. So you can get in and out fast. Clear path to production. Ellie Gold has 11 key assets, 9 at producing mines. Industry's best operation. 9 producing in the best operation. Okay. And then they've got 16 transactions that they did this year. That's quite a bit, man. 16 transactions, so 1.5 per month. They were buying and selling something. Ellie Gold purchasing and generating royalties still. Got 9 key assets at producing mines. They've got development assets, 15 located or near producing mines. So 15 that are close to producing, that haven't even started producing yet, which is huge, because once they'll start producing, that's when the royalties start flying in. 7 part of permitted projects or in the permitting process. So they've got another 7 that they're waiting for the permits. They've got 12 currently being drilled by top junior exploration companies. Properties available for sale. Ellie Gold is one of the largest property owners in Nevada. How rad is that? So they've still got, you can go to their website and check out properties they've got for sale, and you can go in and offer and start your own mining company, man. It's totally cool. Here's some of their counter partners and people they're working with. There's that Wallbridge Mining. You guys heard of them? Are you in that one? In Canada, our friends of the Great White North. How about Core Mining? Y'all heard of them? Premier, Jarrett Canyon, a lot of them. America Silver Corporation, Nevada Gold Mines. Just keeps going and going and going. You can see here that money's going up too. Every projection is slated to mass up. Okay, so they're basically looking to 2x is what this looks like to me, because they're about 5 million ish, 5.5. They're looking to get about 11. So that's good. Total revenue is looking to double next year. Take it. And again, the management's involved, the CEO and stuff. He's on YouTube all the time talking. If you want to listen to him, he's a smart dude. Looks like, I think he lives in Nevada too, which is healthy. A lot of CEOs try not to live where their minds are at, which is absolutely nuts to me. If you want to know more, again, just come in and read. We got pages and pages and pages more on here. We are going to move on for now. They also have some new news that came out that they issued a clarification on the Jarrett Canyon warrants. So this is something that, Highcroft Mine, I still like Highcroft Mine. I still think they need a little bit more help with getting clarification out there. And this is a perfect example. So Ellie came out and did a press release just to clarify on some warrants. That's good. They're communicating. Then they purchased 3 new royalties on August 11th from Nevada prospector Ken Snyder. So boom, they just picked up 3 properties. Partner news. Blackrock, their partner with Blackrock, commences 7,000 meter drill program at Tonopah West project. So these guys get a cut of the Blackrock people. I've talked about Blackrock before. You guys ever jump in that? Gold heap leach in Nevada, Bell's scoping study points to growth at Hog Ranch. They stay updated on stuff. So again, here's Blackrock. We've talked about them. I just wanted to bring up that they have some weird news coming out where they're mulling plans to spin out its Silver Cloud property in Nevada into a separate company. Earlier this month, the group updated on its maiden drill program at the Tonopah West project in the Walker Lane Trend in Nevada. You can read more about this here. I have everything. I kind of like this. They're looking to spin out one of their properties. With gold hovering near all-time highs and our Tonopah West property dominating the show, we see this as a perfect backdrop. I like the CEO too. He's aggressive. He's young. He's going after. He's got a lot to prove, and so far he's done very, very well for this company. He said, "We do not believe the market is fully valuing the sum of our parts, and we see this as an ideal solution to ensure both projects get the attention and command the evaluation of which they deserve, with purpose-built teams for each." So what would happen with that? They're usually going to, I don't know, they're going to split it up, maybe get, right here, they're going to give you 25% of the spinoff company shares being released from the restrictions at the time of the completion of the spinout, have 25% being released after 4 months thereafter. They could come up with whatever terms they're going to come out with. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I think it'd be cool to have a piece of another one, call it Spinco, which is, I think it's funny. I don't know what they're doing with that, but I think it's kind of neat. Regardless, this one is sitting at, I think, what looks to me as a decent entry point. So we already had a line here at about 67. It came down, sliced through it, came down, and retraced back up to it. This is one you want to watch. I'd like to see it get above the $67 mark, 67 cent mark, 67 cents. But again, this is one that is proved. This thing got up to $1.22. $1.22. When we first talking about this one, it was around 26 cents or something. So this one too, it's got a decently low float. I don't have it on me right this second, but this is still an exploration one. But this is kind of like Hycroft, where they've got massive amounts of gold and silver. These guys, the amount of silver they're pulling though is huge too. They're pulling big chunks out of it. Let's just call it that. Look into it. They got tons of projects. They've got these old mining districts that haven't been mined in over 50 years, but are world renowned, and they now own them. They were never sold for 50 years. Now they just got them and they're just banging them. So they're drilling them with the new technologies and they're finding all sorts of cool stuff. So watch out for that one too. I think we're at a decent entry point now. Speaking of Hycroft mining, man, okay, so these warrants, they were riding this channel about $1.40 for a long time, $1.50-ish, 60. They bounced up and hit 250, and now because the silver went down and stuff again, they're now back down to $1.73. There's currently nothing holding this up right now. The only trend line we could throw on top of this would be right about here, about $1.80. So it's technically below that last line. Where could it go from there? The only thing I can see it doing is going down to $1.34 and trickling down there, or just jumping right back up to where it was at, which was about $2 again. I still think though the big picture, even at $1.73 where it ended today, is probably a good entry point, because last week it was sitting at $2.58. That's a pretty big run right there. 30% probably provable. But I mean, even before that, when with gold and silver was up, what was it, 2 or 3 months ago? It was all the way up to almost $4. And again, silver still hasn't even gone to half of what it's done historically. So the question is, will silver do that before the election, or will it have to happen after the big Hulk smash? That's the big $1 million question, right? But at least you have these in your back pocket. You know about them. Just had to get them out. We are now moving on to some market news. Canoe, HCAC, the Hennessy boys. So they were advertising basically that they were going to have a skateboard day today. What did that mean? I guess all it means is they were just going to make a post on Twitter.
So after we spent lots of time thinking about it, how we could design it, how we could put the
and
in,
make this commercial.
And seeing it now in real and being able to run away with it, this is definitely a dream come true.
So they're just showing that it's totally mobile. With the steering wheel, you can put it anywhere you want because it's by wire, But that's about it. They just kind of drive around. The chick gets out. It's a girl, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a dude with a big old gnarly ponytail. Somebody with a ponytail gets out of this thing. Right? So it's cool. I mean, I want one of those. But do I want to pay whatever it's going to cost a month? What is it going to be, like $1,000 a month to lease it or whatever, subscribe to it or whatever? No. But again, put a cool sports car body on it, then people are going to start thinking about it. But I don't know. These guys are not good at communicating at all. So far, still. People have been asking them too. They're like, okay, what's skateboard day? What does this mean? So everyone's getting excited. All right, skateboard day is coming, everybody. They've been talking about it for a week. That's all they put out. This video, we already saw the dude like take this thing basically like 2 weeks ago and spin it around a parking lot, remember, and like do a 180 with the e-brake or whatever. And he's like that. That's about it. I don't know. What do you guys think? And they were talking about how they were going to talk about tech and everything like that, but they didn't talk about tech unless they're still going to do it. Right now, it's 2:20 after the bell, and I haven't seen anything else. So did I miss? Did they have a presentation somewhere else? I just was totally missing. Let me know. So Jay Money, this guy's been with us for a long time. He pointed out to me on Twitter today that on SPY, this line that we drew out, I believe it was on Sunday or something like that, Saturday or Sunday, on SPY, the weird sideways one that I was able to find that was hitting the bottom and the top and then coming up and sliced through. He said, hey man, it looks like SPY tagged that support we drew in. Thanks, bro. So at least we're able to be aware of it, right? We hope it doesn't hit those because that means it's going down to go up, but hey, at least we kind of knew what was going on. Next, we are going to talk about NETE. You guys remember this one? The Mullen Car Group. Did y'all ever get into this one? It's kind of sketchy. They're talking about electric cars. This is when we did the video when it was coming out of this Bolt channel. It's around like $6 or whatever. Well, it broke out of this nice tortilla chip here. Guacamole came out. It's nice and heavy, so it went down a little bit. But then someone stepped on the hot sauce packet, and it just went straight up bull to like $15.88. Anyone surf that? Almost 3 extra bills. Anyone do it? See how fast it went back down though? That's the bad part. If anyone was able to sell this above $12, please put your name down in the comments so everyone can tell you good job. That was a tough trade. Were you guys in it? Let me know. Where'd it settle today? Around $8. I don't know. Was there a catalyst of news? I haven't had the chance to look it up. I don't even know. Did they ever finally say they're going to build that factory in Spokane, Washington? Let me know. I still don't know yet. PPSI, we got to talk about that. Again, one of our people on Twitter actually let me know about this too today. Runtsletter said, dude, check out PPSI. So we were talking about this. I don't even remember, Monday or Sunday or something. So did that video about that's like yesterday, about Clean Spark. Good Clean Spark buy them. But check this out. This busted out of the tortilla chip here. Came out $1.32. Ended up all the way up to $2.15. Anyone get to grab that? Sell it out of there? Good job. I had a trailing stop, and I don't know where it sold it, but it ended up selling it somewhere around here today. So I'm currently not in it now, which is totally fine because you got to surf this wave up, man. This is still one of the coolest looking charts out there. I mean, now it's got like this straight triangle. Look at that. But now we got another leg up. So we'll see if this thing comes slamming back down. We'll see what happens. Can you imagine though if Clean Spark does at least like announce they're actually going to cut them out of that part that they own or whatever? Could be nuts. They ended up hitting 40% up, ending 40% up on the day. So that means they were actually up like 75% on the day or something. Dude, congratulations if anyone's got to surf that, baby. Oh yeah, SBE, how could I forget, baby? Where are you at? So this is Switchback Energy, the most talked about, maybe not the most talked about, but one of the most heavily talked about SPACs, wannabe SPACs for a long time. It finally got a rumor. The rumors always hurt. We don't like rumors. You just need to come out and do it. The rumor hurt it. We were higher, and then the actual news came out, and then what happened? It tanked. That sucks. It really didn't tank as bad as a lot of these have. It held up, right? I mean, it was sitting around like 12.25 for a while and just doing its little dance and doing some parabolic spikes. I mean, dude, what are you like $20 million spikes here. You know, 20% spikes today, 15% spikes, but ended up ending right in the middle, right about 1253. It actually went up a little bit post-market. There's still a lot of people out there that have no idea what this is. You know, it takes a lot of retail investors a month to even hear about this stuff. I guess we do have this, let's just call it a channel here. Yeah, because it tagged it a bunch of times coming down here, so it rejected itself too. So I don't see any actual gaps, at least on the 2 hour. Let's try to put it at 1 hour. Okay, we do actually have a gap there on the 1 hour. Sometimes you can change the time frame and then it will reveal what's behind the cloth there. Okay, so you know where it ended? It ended exactly right there, which is the top of the gap. Let's throw a ray over. If you want to learn how to chart, I have a video out there. Make sure to watch it. Yeah, so at 1261, we actually have a gap, and that's basically where it ended the day. I'm sorry, it ended the day a little bit below that, but post-market has gone a little bit above that. So, man, the next thing that's going to happen, I bet you we're going to have to just break out of this channel. It could still bleed out a little bit, which is fine. I think that this is still one of the best SPAC releases of the year. The cool way to look at it, I think, too, is you're investing in all electric vehicle companies, Tesla, SPAQ, Lordstown, all that, with this one SPAC. So if one of those guys does something dumb or whatever happens with their stock, it won't totally tank this one, right? Because you're still making money on this. And these guys are going international, so even NEO, XBEV, we're going to make money on all of those because this is just the charging. If you haven't seen the video, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Look at my video I did this morning and just look up Switchback Energy videos on YouTube and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But this electronic charging station that's just got released today, I still see this one so massive and so huge. It's also already making money. It's also been around for like 10 years or something like that. They're also the largest electronic vehicle charging company out there. Now they've got this SPAC money. They're going to be pushing into more markets. Blink just had bad news for the past month or two, and so another great opportunity to come in. If this thing doesn't 2x itself in 2.5 to 3 months, I will be very, very, very surprised. Very surprised. I'll be surprised if it doesn't match Shill. I know you guys are going to want to know my price target. I have no idea, but I don't see how this could not match Shill, at least SHLL, Hyliion, or at least all the other ones, DPHC, Diamond Peak Holdings. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be able to match that? These guys already have their product. It's going to make money with it all. This one doesn't have an engine. It doesn't go vroom, but so I'm guessing electronic vehicles probably do have a little bit more cool factor to them, because you can drive them and spin them around and stuff. But I really like this play. Did anyone get in? Did anyone get in and jump out because you got scared and sold off? Just fine too, because we still got some decent buying opportunities for sure. I think right now the comments sitting around $12.59. I believe the warrants ended around $4 or $3.89 or something like that. Any other plays y'all want me to take a look at, please put them down in the comments. Any other miners that you want me to talk about too, put them in the comments. Even if it's not Nevada, I'll look at it. We'll take a look and I'll let you know what I'm thinking. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. It really helps out the channel. I also got a Patreon just started out about, a month ago, and secretly everyone started joining. I kept telling them, don't do it yet because I have nothing for you, but people started joining it. So I started now seeing that a couple days ago. So I started giving you guys some stuff, feeding you a little bit. Still not great at it, but at least you're feeding you some for it. So please join that if you want some entries or some charts or whatever I'm going to end up doing on there. I'll also release videos a little bit early. Sometimes the ads don't even pop up then, so that's cool too. Y'all have a good rest of the night. You take care.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.